Good morning. Welcome to Tina's or Kalotina's cooking. Cooking with Kalotina. Get it straight there, Tina. All right. So today I'm making egg salad, egg and potato salad. And I prepped a few things already just to kind of get things going, okay? So I peeled my potatoes. You're saying, well, boil your potatoes and I'll wait, get them to cool off, then peel them, then cut them. I don't do that. I don't waste time, okay? So I peel the potatoes and then I take a fork and I just try not to poke my finger. And I poke them, 3-4 times on each corner, just like that. And I'll put it in the plate. Okay, do the same thing. Now, the way I do it for serving sizes, I always say 2 potatoes per person. Some person's only going to have 1 potato, some person's going to have potato and a half, and others are going to eat more, you know what I mean? So this is the only dish I'm serving today for lunch. So I made enough for, to make sure we had enough for lunch. Some of them are small, some of them are large. Guess it doesn't matter. All right, and why do we do that? We do that so they don't blow up in your microwave. I'm gonna microwave these. All right, now I tested them out already, and my son said this is the best potato salad I've ever had. I don't know what you did, but keep it the same recipe. So on Facebook, I did advertise this. I did not make it on YouTube, so I am doing that right now for you. It's very simple. You mean? Do the last one. So I've got 6 potatoes, but a couple of them are smaller ones, okay? If you're going to use big, large potatoes, there's 3 of us, so I figure 2 potatoes a person. Because there's eggs and everything else in there too, so you got plenty for a main dish for lunch, okay? All right, so I put those in a plate like that. And I'm just going to stick it in the microwave. And I'm going to cook them for 10 minutes. And then I'll check them. If they need more, then we'll put in for a few more minutes or whatever it needs, okay? All right, within that 10 minutes, though, I need to prepare everything else. All right, so let's clean the eggs. Now I've got eggs left over from Easter. Now our Easter, Greek Orthodox Easter, was a week or so after the American Easter, so my eggs should be still good. So I painted them different colors. Now I would wear gloves especially when you do these, because all the colors are gonna come off on your fingers, but who cares, right? All right. I'm going to put them in this bucket right here because I want to rinse them. Just in case I have little bits of the smashed pieces in there. The only thing I hate about the egg salad is when you're eating it and everything tastes so good, and then you crunch into the casing of the egg. That freaks me out. Because no matter how much you try to take off, there's still something remaining, right? And I need to use up these eggs because I don't think they're going to last a little longer. I still have like one more 12-pack, but maybe over the weekend I'll do another potato salad for the guys. Something always happens to me on the weekends that I'm just throwing it in the garbage down here, if you're wondering what I'm doing. If you're wondering what I'm doing. I guess you know what I'm doing now, so it doesn't really matter. I'm probably gonna put about 8 eggs, I would think. So 3 eggs per person. So 3, 6, 9. I probably won't eat 2 eggs, so that's why I say about 8. And I might add another one in if I feel it's not enough. Okay. Because you want to have leftover. I don't think I'm going to have any leftover. I think that my son loves this and he'll spoon it like nobody's business. But this one is not cleaning good at all. It's giving me a hard time. It's like, I want my skin. Don't take it away from me. And of course you can do all this stuff ahead of time. You know what I mean? Like if you cut up all your vegetables, clean your eggs, all that stuff. That can all be overnight, and then in the morning you just put everything together. It takes you like 15 minutes, you know what I mean? I would not chop up the onion and leave it in the refrigerator. You never do that because it'll stink your refrigerator, number one. Number two, it'll mess up any flavors you have in the refrigerator from other cooked meals that you may have in there. What I usually do if I have a leftover, let's say I have a big onion, I'm only going to use half. I put the other half in a Ziploc baggie so that it contains the flavors of the onion in there. 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, maybe I'll do 10. Doesn't look like. So I'm going to do 10 eggs. Just in case there's leftover, they can have it for dinner. If you want more leftover, then you just put more eggs and you put more potatoes, right? I smash them like that so that it's easier for me to get the casing off of them. All right, so I've got my colored eggs in there. I'm gonna rinse them real quick, make sure that they've got all of their pieces off. Strain the water out. Well, good. I'm glad because there was a lot in there that I left, so that's good. All right, so I've got that. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my onion, get that ready. I have a nice big large onion, okay? So you want a nice big one or 2 medium size. It depends on how you like the onion flavor, you know what I mean? Some people don't like onion flavor, so they might not use an actual onion. They might use green onions. We're gonna use both, but the main ingredient of this dish is an onion flavor, so yeah, we're gonna use a nice big onion. And remember that you stay conformed to the size that you're going to be putting everything in. But in this particular case, the onion, I really don't want big chunks of onion going into my spoon, okay, when I do that. So I'm chopping them up just a smaller portions. I might mix it up, but when you're eating egg salad, chicken salad, or tuna salad, I always like to make them small. I'm putting them in this other bowl I have over here. Now, if you don't like a lot of onion, you can substitute other stuff, you know what I mean? Like you can substitute, you could put some kale in there, you could put, and make it more, you know, health nutrition. You can put some of that, what's it called? It's like a root, and it's kind of like, it tastes a little hot to the taste. Oh, it'll come to me. You can always make comments, and I'll be able to read those afterwards, and then comment back. So until I hit 1,000 subscribers, I won't be able to go live with you guys, so that you can ask questions as I'm cooking. So please tell your family, friends, co-workers, relatives, neighbors to watch me, okay? This is regular home cooking 101. I am not a professional, but I've got the experience, and I've cooked for my family for many, many years. Remember what I told you about when an onion is hot? You blow, and you keep your mouth open. And what that does is it takes the hotness away from your eyes. That's all you need, is like the heat to go to your eyes while you're cutting. That's not fun. Not fun at all. I'm going to go ahead and check on my potatoes real quick. It's been 10 minutes. I'm going to put them in there for another 5. And the reason why my son liked the recipe is because of the potatoes. When they're boiled, it's got a different flavor to them. But when they're in the microwave, they become like a roasted, like the casing of the potato becomes, when you eat the salad, it becomes a chewy texture. And he just loved that. So, and that's why he said, I've never tasted potato salad like this, because everybody usually just boils their potatoes and then puts them in, right? I mean, that's the norm for potatoes. So when I did this like that, because I don't want to boil and deal with all that stuff, it really gave it a really nice texture and a really nice flavor to the potato salad. It really did. So you'll have to try it, and then you can say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to boil mine. Then boil yours. I am showing you how I do things, right? And then if you try it and you say, nope, I like mine better, then there you go. If you try it and say, she had a point, then there you go. It's just that easy, right? It's just a dish, you guys. If we screw up a dish, it's no big deal. You know, that's how we, you know, learn and we make things better next time. So on the recipe that I did yesterday, which was the 5th of May, it was a recipe that I found on Facebook, but I kind of changed it up a little bit. My son loved it, but he said, but don't do it again. Because they just don't, they're so used to my mother cooking the Greek foods all the time, and they want those flavors as comfort food, you know what I mean? That this was all American, and they're like, it's, you know, my husband says, yeah, it's okay. So I knew he didn't like it. But my son loved it. But my son loves, you know, stuff like this, you know what I mean? All right, so I've got my onion chopped. I'm gonna go ahead and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carrots. All right, I'm gonna chop those up too. And I'm gonna chop them up in half. I don't want them big chunks, okay? So this is the half part that I cut up in 3s, okay? If you want a little bit of that in your spoonful, okay? Remember, everything is by the spoonful. So we want to make sure that everything fits in the spoon. All the flavors. Again, you can chop all this up at nighttime and put it all together in the daytime, right? Careful of your fingers, because they do roll. When you guys try my recipes, comment, send me a message and say, hey, you know, I really like this. Or, hey, I liked it, but I would have done it this way. I would have done it a little differently. You know what I mean? We're all here to learn from each other. So, you know, I'm not an expert, but I've been putting out some pretty darn good dishes. So that's good. That's why I love doing lives, like on other things that I do, because I can communicate with people right there, one-on-one. But with YouTube, you have to gain subscribers, you know, to be able to do that. Okay. So they're done. Now I put them in there for 15 minutes. I probably should have put them in there for maybe like 12 or 13 minutes, but that's okay. I think last time I put them in there for 15 minutes too, so it kind of all worked out. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let these cool just for a second. And then I'm gonna go ahead and chop up the I'm going to chop up the eggs that I have, okay? And normally, get that out of the way. Normally I just go, I've got my onions. I go like that, like that, like that. I cut it into 4 pieces, right? And I cut it down the middle, and then I just chop it up like that. I like to leave bigger chunks in there because it should be the main part of the dish, should be the egg. If you chop it off too small, the egg yolk, you won't be able to find it, okay? Now you can also cut it like this. I've done it like that too. And just chop it up. The main thing is to not mess too much with the egg yolk, because usually that deteriorates with the manipulation of the egg. So that's why I like to do it this way. That one still had a piece stuck to it. I love it how the colors are different colors. There's green and blues and yellows and reds. Because when you're stirring, the reason why I cut them a little bit bigger is because when you're stirring the mayonnaise and everything, the yolk just disintegrates. It just melts, you know what I mean? So I cut them in bigger pieces so that it doesn't do that. You can still find a piece of egg yolk, you know what I mean? All right. And my husband said, he's like, Tina, your mom has been cooking eggs, coloring eggs for so many years. And we always found them already because we always worked. But the taste of your eggs that you've done is just phenomenal. He says the way you bake them, the way you cook them, I boiled them, you know what I mean? But he says they're just perfect. And I think why is because see how it's yellow? Well, that's how it's supposed to be. Sometimes when you overcook it, it turns brown. Like sometimes, see it? That brown flavor? And it just changes. I mean, it's not bad. It's just overcooked, right? So you have to make sure that you still have that yellowness in the egg. And I cook them for about 15 minutes. I don't cook them any more than that. My mom used to boil them for half an hour because she was afraid that, you know, she was afraid that, there's our eggs, that they'd be raw on the inside, you know what I mean? It's like, Mom, come on. All right, I've got some celery right here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stalks of celery. I'm gonna cut the ends off. Cut them down the middle because I do want them small, just like the onion. I don't like finding big chunks of celery. When my mom used to make it, she used to make it with big chunks of celery, and I'm like, nah. She always said, you know, when you cook, when you learn to cook, you can cook your own, right? I'm like, okay, Mom. So pretty much, you know, I've got her way of making things, but I improvise and make it better. Is it wrong? No. Her cooking was amazing. But she had the mentality, you know, make it easy on yourself. Don't overthink things through. And just get it over with. Cook your meal and get it over with. So I'm like, oh, okay. But I usually like to take a little extra time and just make it. She was so experienced in cooking that I will never reach her expertise, even if I'm 88 years old. But here's the thing. In the beginning, you know, when she first died, it's like, oh my God. Half the time I was at work, you know. I mean, I helped her in the kitchen on the weekends, but that was it. You know, when we came home, meal was served on the table, ready to go. So, but I remember, you know, I remember a lot of things. Throughout the years, I would catch her doing the same recipe, but like another section of the recipe that I had missed from the previous time. You know what I mean? So I kind of put 2 and 2 together and figured it out. But yeah, usually she took care of the whole place, the house. She raised my kid. She cleaned, dishes, laundry, you name it. Everything was done. Because we work 10 hours a day and we're tired, you know what I mean? But she lived with us. And she was grateful, you know, that she could live with her daughter. Okay, so there is that. Put that over there. Okay, so we have our onions. We have our eggs. We have our celery. Now we're going to go ahead and chop off the potatoes and stick those in there. See how they become? They become like there's an exterior layer that's going to be mushy, but not boiled. That's what I like about them. And I just cut them in pieces too, like that. Again, I'm cutting them to the size of the eggs, right? See, it's got that little elasticity to them. And that's what he liked about it. It was different. It was not boiled. It had some type of texture to the potato. That's a hot potato. Holy cow. It does. It has this texture of chunkiness of, you'll like it. Try it and then you'll see. And it's not boiled, you know what I mean? Like just a boiled potato. It's got this exterior thing that happened to it. You know what I mean? It's got a little hardness to it. Kind of like gummy. That's exactly what it is. It's like a gummy texture. The inside of the potato isn't, but the exterior part of the potato is. The inside is just a cooked potato. But that exterior part is what is causing that texture in the salad. Okay, so I've got the potatoes in there. I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper the potatoes because that's why I left them on top, because you're going to need a lot of flavor. Okay, so I mean it makes a nice big bowl, and that's going to serve 3 of us perfectly, and might even have leftover. All right, I'm going to put some salt on there. Probably like a teaspoon of salt. It all depends on how much you like salt. You can substitute something else, you mean? Non-sodium salt, whatever you mean. I'm going to put a little bit of Mrs. Dash. Not a lot, just a little. I like putting Mrs. Dash in when I'm cooking something. With raw, I don't put too much in there. I am going to put a little bit of garlic just to kind of flavor the potatoes a little bit. And I think I put salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic. I'm talking like a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic, not too much. And I think that's all the flavoring I want to do. I want to move this around, just the top part where the potatoes are, just to make sure that I've given them enough flavoring, because all that's going to get mixed in afterwards, right? I'm going to put some red wine vinegar in there, and I want to coat the potatoes because that's where all the main flavors are going to be. All right, it's probably about a tablespoon and a half, something like that, okay? All right, so I kind of got the potatoes flavored. I'm going to go ahead and add the mustard. Just like that, a squirrel. You want to know measurements? Probably about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use, because I've got these little bottles. This one, I don't like Helmer's. I hate Helmer's. The only one I use in my potato salads is this one here. Tony might find a difference, but right now I don't. That's all I have. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this in there. And then the majority of it is going to be the real mayo. Put that in there. Guess it would help if it opens up, right? Oh, that hurt my wrist doing that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put some of that. This is a 12-ounce container, all right? I put a little bit of this one, so far I'm putting in 12 ounces, okay? want to make sure that I have enough in there to coat the whole salad. Make sure you go all the way down to the bottom where the onions and the carrots are. So definitely I'm going to need more mayo because that's not enough at all. Okay, so let me wash my hands real quick. So I'm going to put it in whatever's left in this one. Oh yeah, there's still a lot left in here. There's still a little bit in there. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of ranch dressing in there. Probably like 4 tablespoons of ranch. I'm going to use a little bit of some more of that. You want your potato salad to have a consistency where everything is tossed and everything has a beautiful coating of mayonnaise, okay? Like, see how the consistency changed on me? Earlier it was more drier, now it's more moist, okay? So I just want to make sure I go to the bottom and get the stuff down there that didn't have any. And bring that up. It gets a little messy, but you know, you got clean hands. It's potato salad. You got to get messy, right? Okay. Perfect. Now, some of you might like to put, instead of, well, or you can add to it some capers. I've done that. I don't have any capers to put in there. Some pickles. You can also add, what's that thin leaves? It's greenery. Forgot what it's called. Anethos is what it's called in Greek, but I don't remember what it's called in. So now my consistency is beautiful because you see a lot of mayonnaise and stuff. I'm going to taste it because I want to make sure it's okay for flavoring. I think on the salt and pepper is good, but it needs more vinegar. It's got to have that little tanginess to it. So I'm going to say a couple tablespoons of vinegar. Now, if you don't like vinegar, you can always put lemon juice in there too as well. Okay? Taste it again. Yeah, that is way better. And sometimes you have to taste it, you know? Don't be scared. It's really good. I'm trying to figure out if I'm missing anything. That is amazing. It's really, really good. So, probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Okay, which is this right here. Or any kind of red wine vinegar. What would taste good in here too is, not a lot, but a little bit of the balsamic vinegar. I think I'll put just a little splash of that in there. Very little. Like a half a teaspoon, because it's very, very rich in flavor. Do you see why I cut the eggs larger? Because you're mushing and things, and you know, it's just getting things okay, more mushy. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut up some green onions. Okay, my potato salad is perfect. I'm gonna make it all smooth on top. Okay. And last time I left some, last time I put in a, I put in a, boy, I'm losing my thought of thinking, ain't I? I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm just a little bit tired today. I'm gonna drink some orange juice before I go into work. I've got 4. I don't think you need more than 4. 3 probably would have been enough. But I'm going to cut them on the side so that they're longer, elongated, not just down the front. And what do I mean by that? I cut them like that. Okay? And I'm just going to put some on top for extra flavor. So when I mix it in, when I get there, it's got a little more freshness to it. I did not have parsley. Normally I put parsley in my dish, okay? And I didn't have any. So he might say, wait a minute, this isn't the same. So, okay, just like that. All right, so that is my potato salad. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean the inside with a tissue, clean the outside so it looks presentable, because we did a lot of mixing in here, and then I'll take a picture and put it on YouTube, or put it on Facebook, okay? All right, that is my potato salad. You have to try it. It is amazing. Don't forget to put parsley in yours. I just didn't have any. Mine were not in good shape, so, but that's okay. I'm putting some green onions in there and just giving it more green, okay? All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.